James Turner for the untouchable true school sports. Let's go, baby. Bow!
Be careful what you wish for because it can become a reality.
Yeah. The untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing game's been missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. All right, so one guy that definitely deserves some shine because he's been in the ring kicking ass and taking names over these last couple of fights is none other than Ipswich's own Fabio Wardley. Yes, that Fabio Wardley. Now, he's had a very interesting career arc because he comes from the white collar boxing scene, and that's frowned upon. You know, that he didn't turn pro the traditional way with all these crazy amateur fights. He's a white collar boxer, you know. And for those that don't know what white collar boxing is, basically it's just it's boxing, but it's for people who have like office jobs who have no prior boxing experience. So for example, like let's say you work in accounting and you know, you want to fight. You know, they have events or special events where people who have these office jobs can just fight each other, and it's normally people with no boxing experience fighting each other. So they're pretty ugly fights. He came from that, and then he decided he wanted to take boxing seriously, and look where he's at now, 18-0, now a legit heavyweight contender. So let's talk about him. Fabio Wardley fought Frazer Clarke in a highly anticipated rematch. You know, their first fight was a British classic, really fun fight. And you know, Frazer Clarke, he's the polar opposite of Fabio Wardley as far as how he's come up in boxing. He's come up through the GB system, you know, the Great Britain amateur system. He's come up, you know, as an Olympian, you know, very, you know, well-schooled fighter. And what did Fabio Wardley do to him? How did the guy with a whole galaxy more of experience do against Fabio Wardley in the rematch? I'll tell you what happened. Fabio Wardley done him up in one round, stopped him in one round, got him out of that, packed him up like a school lunch, you know. And Fabio Wardley gets to what is to date the biggest win of his career. And funny enough, I feel like this win, it signifies two things for the career of Fabio Wardley, because when he was a prospect, as he's been coming up, the two names in the UK in the heavyweight division around, you know, his, you know, not age range, but, you know, same era as him, same experience level as him in the pros. The two names that have always been mentioned have been David Adelaide and Frazer Clarke. And, you know, he beat David Adelaide. He was getting a lot of hype 3 years ago, because he was Tyson Fury's sparring partner for some of those Wilder fights. Frazer Clarke, GB Olympian, you know. So these guys had everything in their favor on paper as far as the sparring they got, how they started, amateur experience. And it's Fabio Wardley who comes out on top, because one thing about boxing that people need to start understanding is that amateur experience does count for something, but it's not everything. You know, sometimes it's better when you're not an amateur fighter, because a lot of times these amateur fighters like Frazer Clarke, they've been amateur so long that they have amateur habits embedded into their subconscious mind and their DNA. They can't. It's hard to break those things. A guy like Fabio Wardley doesn't have those things, so you know you can kind of imprint whatever you want to imprint on him as a trainer, you know, into him as a fighter, you know. So that's why I feel like maybe he's more successful than people thought he'd be. But funny enough, with that win, Fabio Wardley has officially entered the Ring Magazine top 10 rankings in the heavyweight division. He's now the number 9 ranked heavyweight in the world by Ring Magazine. Just above him at 8 is my boy Filip Hrgovic, and just below him at 10 is Efe Ajagba. So let's talk about Fabio Wardley now, not as a British heavyweight contender, but more of as a real legitimate heavyweight contender, because that's what he is. And I remember watching Fabio Wardley fight years ago against the corpse of Eric Molina, and he stopped him, but like I wasn't impressed. You know, watching him early in his career, I wasn't really impressed by him. But fight by fight, these last, you know, 3, 4, 5 fights, he's really been showing and proving, doing what a young fighter's supposed to do. And now he is a legit top 15, top 10 contender in the division. And as far as what could be next for him, I'll tell you this right now. The two fights I love for Fabio Wardley would be either Efe Ajagba or Filip Hrgovic. I think those are two great fights for Fabio Wardley. Ajagba, he's been kind of like on a fast track to nowhere throughout his career. Let's just he's looked great some fights. He's looked very pedestrian in many fights. I don't think Efe Ajagba will ever win a heavyweight title, but he's an Olympian just like Fabio. Or not. He's an Olympian just like Frazer Clarke was. From Nigeria, big, strong, 6'6", but I think Fabio Wardley could beat him. I would give Fabio Wardley a good chance to beat F.A. Jagba. He's running into a really good heavyweight, strong, good gas tank. Punch placement is very, very, just educated and precise. I think that'd be a really good fight, a damn near 50-50 pick'em fight. So I like that fight. And then obviously Hrgović. Hrgović is a fighter that is coming off of a devastating loss to Dubois. And, I know Filip Hrgović personally, and I haven't even heard much from him since the Dubois loss. So I know he's just been probably spending time with his family and enjoying his life after a tough loss. But if he has any ambitions of becoming the first ever Croatian heavyweight champion, he's got to, get back to it and beat some legitimate guys. And I think Wardley is a perfect comeback fight for Hrgović. A guy, Wardley's undefeated. He's coming in on great form. And he's a legit contender now. And I could be wrong, so don't quote me on this, but I know like 3 or 4 years ago, Fabio Wardley came to Miami for sparring at Mundo Boxing Gym when Filip Hrgović was training there with Pedro Diaz. I'm not sure if they sparred, but I would be led to believe they probably did spar. So they may have history, but I think that's a good fight. Hrgovic's biggest question mark on him going forward is going to be his gas tank and his physical strength. And Fabio Wardley definitely has a gas tank, and he could test it really, really much on Hrgović. So I like that fight. So he's here. Fabio Wardley, ladies and gentlemen. He's not the white collar boxer no more. He's not the British contender that's an underdog in all these domestic fights. No. He is Fabio Wardley, the world level heavyweight contender now, and he deserves to be talked about as such. So congratulations to him on a sensational 1-round demolition job on Frazer Clarke, and looking forward to seeing what he does in the future. So let me know, who do you guys want to see Fabio Wardley fight next, and why? What fight is it, and why? Leave all your comments down below. Make sure you guys take the time to subscribe. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Daniel. So until next time. Thank you for watching another video on the untouchable True School Sports Empire. I'm at the Boxing Hall of Fame out here in Canterbury, New York. And for more great boxing content just like this video, make sure you click and subscribe right over here.